So easy, right?
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Respected elders, brothers, friends, mothers and sisters, at this very moment we are sitting in the masjid in the circle of Q&A which takes place every week after Isha prayer. Brothers, sisters, they pose questions and we try our best to answer these questions in light of Quran and Hadith. For today's Q&A session, we also have received some questions from brothers and sisters. The question is, are the prophets alive in the graves? And not only the prophets, even a common person who dies, he is alive in the grave. We hear the ahadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Quran also approves that the punishment of the grave is proved from Quran and Hadith. The deceased, according to their actions, either they are rewarded or they are punished in the grave. And the non-believers, they will be punished in their graves till the day of judgment. And the sinners from amongst the Muslims are also punished in the graves. Our Prophet ﷺ clearly informed us in his ahadith, al-anbiya'u ahya'un fi quburihim. The anbiya, particularly the anbiya, they are alive in their graves. And our Prophet ﷺ, when a believer goes to Madinatul Munawwarah and visits his grave, our Prophet ﷺ, when he gives salam to Prophet ﷺ, Rasulullah ﷺ, he hears the salam, he replies back to this person. And he says in the hadith that when a person from a distance, he gives salam to me, then his salam is conveyed to me through the angels. And when he comes to my grave and he gives salam, I myself hear the salam and I reply. So the prophets are alive. We shouldn't fall into this deviation and this deception that some people, some sects, they claim that prophets are not alive in the graves. Prophets are not alive, which means they will say there is no point giving salam when you go to Madinatul Munawwarah. There is no point giving salam. There is no point conveying the salam. You're passing the salam to Prophet sallallahu, offering the salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The prophets are alive. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is alive in the grave. Any Muslim, any believer who goes there to perform Hajj, Umrah, and then he visits his grave, he gives salam. His salam is heard by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah replies back. And the second question is, what are the conditions for a Hajj which is done on behalf of someone who is not well? when a person is not well and the Hajj has fallen on him and he missed his Hajj and now he has fallen ill and the illness is such that the illness doesn't allow him to travel, and then he realized and then he sent someone on his behalf to do Hajj, meaning he pays everything for it. So when someone is doing Hajj on behalf of someone, the masala is he should do Hajj, particularly when someone is dying and he leaves a wasiyah, will that my Hajj should be done on my behalf. Then the masala is the Hajj. There are three types of Hajj: Ifrad, Tamattu, and Qiran, which means Ifrad is a Hajj in which no Umrah is involved. Only the person goes there and does Hajj, and that's it. And in Tamattu and in Qiran, Umrah is involved. The person does first Umrah and then he does the Hajj. But if someone dies, before he dies and he leaves the instruction for the family that the Hajj should be performed on my behalf, then whosoever will go and do Hajj on his behalf, he has to do only Ifrad, not Tamattu or Qiran. He has to do Ifrad. But if someone is ill and sending someone else on his behalf to do Hajj, then he has the authority, he is allowed to permit this person who's going to do Hajj on his behalf to do whichever Hajj he wants him to do. If he says, well, you go and do Hajj Qiran, he can do Hajj Qiran. And if he says, no, you go do Hajj Tamattu, he can do Hajj Tamattu. So the condition is that the person who's sending you, you should ask him, which Hajj shall I do on your behalf? And if he doesn't say anything, and he just sends you, then you should go and do only Hajj Ifrad on his behalf. And the third question, again, someone is asking regarding Khanqa. This question last 2 weeks ago it came and someone again has repeated this question with this bit of difference here, changing here. Is Khanqa is a place where only a zikr is taking place, or Khanqa is a place a spiritual doctor is doing Ruhani ilaj along with teaching them a zikr? So what is zikr? Zikr is a ilaj, and in these Ruhani ilaj, in the mu'alijins, these doctors, they don't sit there with the injection in the hands and they say we're doing a Ruhani ilaj. This is what if you go to the doctor, if you go to the doctor, if you don't mention your illness to the doctor, how is it going to be your ilaj? Similarly, when you are sitting in a khanqa and the spiritual doctor is there, he can't do your ilaj unless you tell him what are your illnesses. And then he will, according to your, what you've told him, then according to that, he will do your ilaj, and then he will prescribe you the medicine in the form of, will tell you what to do. So when in the Khanqa, I mentioned before, Khanqa is not a special place, where, other than the masjid. In Masajid, Khanqa, a place where the dhikr is done under the supervision of a spiritual doctor, you could say. Alhamdulillah, in our masjid here, we have a Hazrat here, and in his supervision, we do the dhikr. So this is ilaj. Dhikr is ilaj for our inner diseases. Dhikr is the ilaj. This is what the spiritual guides, the spiritual doctors have prescribed. Do dhikr as much as you can, so that the illnesses which are in your hearts, they are, the dhikr becomes, it dominates all your diseases. So, this concept of Khanqa is not that this Khanqa is a special, building for, only for dhikr. No, masajid are places where the dhikr is done, and the mu'alijins and the spiritual doctors are there, to guide us, and we should approach them, we should ask them if we have any inner diseases, and then inshallah they will guide us and they will instruct us what to do, and according to their instructions we should follow them, and then inshallah through their instructions we can get rid of these diseases which we find in ourselves, in our hearts, such as pride and jealousy and hatred and having grudge for others. These are the diseases we have. And someone is asking here another question that on Maulana Zakir Rahmatullah alayhi has he wrote, his books on tasawwuf in this field. One of the, there are so many Hazrat wrote, books. One is Ummul Amrad, the mother of all the diseases. This is the name of the book Hazrat wrote, Ummul Amrad, in which he, the pride that the takabbur people have, we have. I won't say people, we have, the takabbur, we have. And in this book, he mentions and he writes everything, how we can get rid of this, how much this can be found, this kibr, this pride in us, particularly in the religious people, this takabbur, shaitan. Shaitan why was he rejected by Allah? Because of this disease. So that's why Hazrat Maulana Zakir has named his book Ummul Amrad. There are so many diseases, but the mother of all the diseases is the pride. Is the pride, which the shaitan, to become, the enemy of Allah and enemy of His Prophet, and he eventually, because of this disease, he had to leave Jannah, and he has been cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forever and ever. And whosoever will follow his footsteps, he will be cursed also. So Hazrat Maulana, if you can, this book can be found, just start, begin with this book, Amrad, read this book, and then inshallah, and when you go to any Islamic book, you will find so many other books there, and you can pick and choose which book you want, and inshallah, according to that, then you can, rectify yourself. But also remember, sometimes by only just reading a book, you can make a mistake. Sometimes, you may not understand the sentence what he's saying, and you might go wrong. So always, when you're reading a book, always make sure when you're reading a book, if you don't understand, then you should approach any alim or any spiritual doctor, and then you can ask them and they will explain you everything. Someone is also asking today that what is the iddat of a woman whose husband has passed away, meaning it's a waiting period. A woman whose husband passed away, her iddat is 4 months and 10 days, which means in this period of 4 months and 10 days, she cannot marry anyone. And if she does, then nikah will not be valid. And also, this woman, she cannot leave her house. She has to reside in that house. She cannot, without any valid reason, she cannot, go out and wander here and there. She can't do this. She will be sinful. She has to stay in that house. And also, someone is asking regarding when a person gives a talaq to his wife, so what is the waiting period? His waiting period is 3 months, meaning 3 periods. Within that period, the woman cannot marry, anyone. And also the person is asking, in this period, can this person meet and see his mother-in-law? Yes, his mother-in-law, she is mahram to him. He is allowed to talk to her, he is allowed to see her, because she is still his mahram. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our sitting here and make it means of our forgiveness. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.